Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic / non-classic. This episode number 2905, double shot number 2799. And my camera, for some reason, has froze on me for some strange reason. Oh, now it moves. Yes, now I'm moving. Okay, so we're discussing a mini-series of a volume, and, of course, basically start of a brand new ongoing. First what we have is Alpha Flight, Divided We Stand, part of the whole Fall of X stuff. This collects Alpha Flight Volume 5, which is only 5 issues. Yep. First new Alpha Flight series release at this point, because I think this came out last year. Yeah, this is the first new Alpha Flight book that, not counting the ones, the first new series of Alpha Flight in 12 years. Because last time was the Fear Itself tie-in. So, you have Ed Bronson doing the writing here with Scott Goldsky doing the artwork with Dave Coulter, issue number 5. You have basically the cover of that by Leonard Kirk and Edgar Diego. Book starts out in Vancouver, British Columbia, where Alpha Flight is stopping some villain. They're basically, they mention about True North, Strong and Free. The fact Alpha Flight is back. Here's Alpha Flight. And then somebody throws a coffee at him for calling them traitors because the whole thing about mutants and let him go. Yeah, he's like, let go because he's kind of right. He did nothing really wrong. Yeah, he threw a coffee. It's not like he threw a rock at him. I mean, his suit protected him. He's perfectly fine. We cut to Department H headquarters, which, yes, they still use the design that was introduced in Volume 2 for Department H. I find that interesting, the fact they still use this design for Department H. I would have thought, though, with this new artist, they would have, because Marvel and DC like to do this occasionally with, updating headquarters like this for sometimes no reason to give a fresh coat of paint. Nope, it's still the same exact appearance. It's maintained its appearance since 1980s. I think in the 80s, the department looked a little different, but now it looks like this now. And we're introduced to a brand new character, Roger Bulks Jr. You're thinking, who the heck is this? He is the son of the original Box from the first volume of Alpha Flight. I believe he was a creation of John Byrne, got killed off when Bill Manson wrote the book. Basically, he killed before the book reached issue 50. And of course, he's in the original Box. Like his father, he also has no legs. Now, here's a question I like to ask. Number one, who is his mom? Because I remember, if you ever read the original volume of Alpha Flight, his father was presumed in his 20s, I'd say, by that point. He died. Now, are you saying at some point he had a kid? It's possible. They don't really go into it at all. I mean, I like the fact we have a connection to the original volume, which is fine. And then we're introduced to the Box Sentinels. Yes, not the Box robots that Jefferson Madison basically also used. No, this is a new Box robot, and of course also that these Sentinels are controlled by Box himself. He doesn't take possession of them like his father does. His father has this weird ability where he would go inside the Box body and then he would come out. He was also a chunky guy who also had a lot. He basically referred to him as Mr. and Miss. He's basically a very respectful guy. His son, well, from what I can tell, here's some interesting though. Sasquatch in the book, except Sasquatch is not orange, is white for some reason. And they'll catch people here. Also, Northstar does show in the book, but he is not wearing his costume. Yes, for some reason, this artist decided to give him a new costume. While Puck, Snowbird, Shaman, and Guardian still have the same outfit. Of course, they yelled at for keeping people safe. And this apparently is Northstar. Yeah. Not fan of the new costume. So yeah, then of course, basically the first issue is them finding them, and then they're in Krakoa North. That's what they call this place. The best way I think of this place, it's more like an embassy for Krakoa, but in Canada. Except that it's later revealed in this miniseries that the Canadian government is working with Oasis. You know, the anti-mutant group in Marvel Comics that was introduced by John Hickman. That after the introduction in House of X and Powers of X, that here's the thing, nothing was done with them. It's like he introduced them, and then they were just put to the side, and then Duggan basically picked up the scraps with him. Yeah. So yeah, there's also this guy in here for some reason with this platinum blonde hair, which I can clearly tell it's a guy. But for some reason, the artist is trying to make people think this is a girl. Yes. I mean, the only thing I can tell is a guy is because of the facial hair. It's like the way the face is, the hair. It's like this is meant to be a girl, but they made it into a guy. I don't know what was up with that at all. And then we have basically Puck and I'm thinking this is Daken. Yeah, this is Daken. Talking to Charles Xavier's daughter, the Empress Sheer Empire, who, by the way, does not play a role in Fall of X. Nope. I mean, it does have a feel of a there's also a new character, Nemesis, who also look like a Spider-Man villain. Yeah, and it's revealed halfway through the book that this Nemesis actually is Heather. You know, Vindicator. And also James McDonald's wife and the mother of their child. Yeah. So yeah, as for like Daken is with Alpha Flight, my guess is because maybe Ed Bronson wanted Wolverine involved with this, but he probably was told no. So either that or I'm sure either he didn't want to use Daken because this is Daken, this is not Wolverine. Because Wolverine has always been associated with Alpha Flight. He's made occasional guest appearances in Alpha Flight volumes over the years. I'm actually quite surprised he's not in this book. That because Ben Percy probably told him no. Yeah, and then the director of the Alpha Flight, the one who was basically their commanding officer, is this woman with glasses, who normally over the years, it's usually some general who is not very well liked, usually the one in front of them. Oh, by the way, in case you're curious, if Northstar Moore here, like, where is Northstar's here? Where is his husband? Not here. Yeah, his husband. It's not revealed until like halfway to the end of like issue 3 that Nemesis actually is Heather. Yeah, and then then of course Alpha Flight turns against Department H, not the Canadian government. They turn against Department H because they don't like what they're doing. Though it's written here that they're arrested at the end of the book for treason. Yes, Alpha Flight, the Canadian superhero team, was arrested for treason. Because they had destroyed Box Sentinels. Yeah. And because they dared disobey a commanding, basically a random scientist woman who just introduced this book. Yep. And of course Heather is how they get away. Sasquatch is kind of here, but looks different. It could be like the Night Beast, whatever. So Heather is told to go. Yeah. So Alpha Flight just surrenders. And then we have Marna here. You know, Namor's wife. Yeah, she got revived during... Oh yeah, and then here's the weird thing. A lot of the survivors from Krakoa North get transported to the Alpha Flight space station. Which you read this like, wait a minute. Where the heck has this thing been? Yeah, this is kind of weird with this book. And also, Sasquatch is alive. Yep. Despite the fact he died in Immortal Hulk, he basically is back here. So Heather is basically taking, and of course all the Alpha Flight members taken into custody for treason. Yeah, and here's the weird thing. No follow-up to this at all. Nope. No follow-up to this. Yeah. Since this conclusion of this miniseries came out last year, mind you, yes. I do like the writing of some of the writing in this book. I do like Box here. One thing I don't like, though, is the person who they work for. It's because Box is working with Oasis because he apparently doesn't like mutants. I'm not a big fan of the whole anti-mutant hysteria stuff. I would say it's got a little more stupider over the course of the years, where Marvel just has to hype it up, and because of the Fall of X tie-in, I mean, it just feels weird that Doc is here in this book, but not Wolverine. And like I said, there's probably two reasons why he's here. One, Ed Bronson probably wanted Wolverine, but he was probably told no. So either that or he really wanted to use Doc in this book. That's my guess. I give this book a 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, and there's now 2 more volumes of the review for Alpha Flight. Volumes 3 and 4. And we're done with the book. Next up, the first trip of Titans, Volume 3, Out of the Shadows, which basically was a... This book was spun out of the... I think it was issue 100 of Nightwing. And then, like... So, you have Tom Taylor on the writing with Nicola Scott on the artwork. Now, I should point out, though, that Tom Taylor... by October, we're leaving this book, and he's going to be replaced by John Layman. Now, why in the world... Here's also interesting. You're thinking, where's Tom Taylor going? He's going to Detective Comics. Yes, he's going to Detective. Now, is this the first group book Tom Taylor's have written? Trying to think here. Actually, no, this is actually the second group book he written, because he did also do X-Men Red, which is fantastic, by the way. So, in this book... By the way, this book contains the first 5 issues of Titans Volume 4. Yes. Now, the reception I've heard for this book has been a bit mixed, at best. It's not as bad as, let's say, the reception I heard for Wonder Woman, per se. But yeah, so we started with Wally running through and him dot. And of course, you have Raven. I think it's Raven, basically talking to Beast Boy. They have Garth Power in the book too. Yes, Garth is here. Oh yeah, and then we have, and by the way, Titan's Tower is in Bloodhaven now. Yeah, this site where the Titan's Tower is. This used to be a prison in Bloodhaven. That they didn't buy the prison, they just demolished and replaced it with Titan's Tower. It's a update of the one from the previous volume of the book. Now, in the book, now by the way, the one they had in New York. There was, in case you're curious though, was it destroyed? I think it was, because it was Transform Titans Academy, it was destroyed during Dark Crisis, so you get why this one's here. But the one that, as far as I can tell, was completely abandoned for no reason, was one in San Francisco, the one where Damien had his group out. Because after of Dark Knight Death Metal, they decided to move into a warehouse when Ben Percy was moving the book after 19 issues and replaced with Adam Glass and headquartered out of a warehouse. I don't know why. Oh, by the way, here's a little fun fact. That tower did show up as a cameo in Flash, and it's abandoned. For no reason. So yeah, we have Beast Boy and Raven as a couple, which is so nice. Which is kind of weird because here's the thing. At the end of Ben Percy's run, Ace and Raven made out. Implied to be a couple. And then that's completely forgotten. Because Raven got moved over to Titans. With, of course, when Dan Abnett decided to basically just kind of refresh the team after for no apparent reason. And this new direction killed the book. And then you have Wallace, where he hooks up with Red Arrow. And then, as soon as the book is over, that's completely forgotten. Because there's no mention of these two being a couple. It's like was teased the whole book. These two have things for each other. They made out. And nothing. And also Avery, the Chinese Flash. She has admitted in the book that it's implied that she has feelings for Wally. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about Wallace. Ace. For some strange reason, writers at DC Comics will refuse to pull the trigger on him in a relationship. They just refuse it. They tease it and they just completely drop it. And now Raven's with Beast Boy. Now, longtime fans have no problem with Raven being Beast Boy. That's fine. Except that one of the last books she was in, like, basically Rebirth, she was in Damian Wayne's Titans book. And at the end of that book, she kissed Wallace. And then dropped, and then whatever. So, leads this one to the committee to, and of course, there's a boom tube, because basically there's action going on. Because Titano is attacking a chemical plant. Yes, Titano. Yeah, and of course, Cyborg tries to hold things down. And then, for some reason, the Peacemaker is here. Says, kill that thing. Dynamite's like, no. Starfire, Donna, Titano's far enough you from the plant. Drop him now. Yeah, he's dropped, and that's it. Yeah, so he's knocked out. All welcome orders. Yeah. Great. I have questions. Like, how did a giant ape sneak up on a nuclear power plant? It's not like there's any giant trees. See, now we play a muscular creature, and Raven's like, excuse me? Yeah. And Donna's like, I really think Titano would be the worst monster you face today. And Peacemaker's like, and the forces are attempting to come. Like, what? I think we should shut you down. But the president would like you to work with the U.S. government. No, excuse me. Time's working for the world, not in the interest of one nation. One-time offer. President of a country. Not my country. Not in my world. I was born in the dimension. Yeah, that's indeed true. If you think about it, guess the members are in fact American of this lineup. Only 3. Garfield, Nightwing, and Cyborg. They're the only 3 who is in fact American. Everyone else, you have an alien, interdimensional person, and Donna Themyscira. Now, what's the purpose of basically of Peacemaker doing here? Well, you could say he's here just to be a dick, obviously, and to plant seeds for future stories. I'm going to stop right here because supper is ready. Yep. So I'm like partway into discussing issue 1, and now I have to stop here. Yep, I have to stop. So I'll be back.